brought to you by the Wicked and Remnant Koalition. For the 12 tribes scattered worldwide. Shalom. Woolly head, dark skin, son of the Most High, Yah. Sing. Yahshua. Loosen up your bodies too tight. It's okay, it's alright. Here's a message from the 12 lost tribes. The phone can make it sad, baby, stop crying. And make fish without fish, start frying. I know you like it, won't you hear them stop lying? It feel good, the more you better just try. It's okay, it's alright. Yeah, it's alright.
A few days ago, we were carried in a vision with Ezekiel from Babylon to Jerusalem, so that Yah could show us what is actually going on among his people in his city and in his temple. And as we journey with Ezekiel to Holy Jerusalem, from Babylon, we began to understand how we ended up in Babylon and how we ended up in captivity. began to discover the fact that our leadership is not committed to our covenant. Our leadership is not committed to our commandments. And we discovered that our leadership is not committed to our Elohim Yahuwah. But they are committed to the gods of the heathen. We found out that our leadership has been wholly given over to the gods of the Babylonians, the gods of the Persians, the gods of the Grecians, and the gods of the European. We went with Zeke and we followed him as Yah led him by the lock of his hair. To Jerusalem in order that he might answer our question about why you and I have found ourselves in the condition that we are in right now. We're trying to figure out how we got, of all people, how did we end up being hunted like animals? How did we, of all people, how did we get captured like we were some type of wild beast? Of all people, how did we? I'm trying to figure this out. How did we? I mean, when I look at all the people in the world, how did we end up in shackles and fetters to the Muslim, to the Arabs, as property, slaves, sold in marketplaces? How? And then later on, when you read history, we find out that that same Muslim, the same Arabian, the same so-called, I know this ain't a real word, so-called Middle Eastern, who enslaved us for thousands of years, sold us to the Greeks and sold us to the Romans. Eventually the Romans and the Greeks cut them out. Don't let these modern day Muslims and modern day Islamic people rewrite history for you, Zion. As the Muslim and the religion of Islam is now trying to rewrite their history concerning our people. No, we're not going to let them do it. They would have still had us chained and shackled if the European hadn't cut them out of the slave trade. They cut out the middleman and begin to capture our people for themselves. And there we have what is called the transatlantic slave trade. The question is, why us? Why us? There are millions and millions of so-called Africans, Hamites, that live on that continent. And out of all the people on the continent, the European pink Christian overlooks every African, every Hamite, and says specifically, I want Judah and I want Benjamin. We want Judah and Benjamin. So they got us from the kingdom of YAHUAH, which is Judah, and they picked us up from Benin, which is Benjamin. And I know what y'all asking. More, I've been thinking the same thing. Why us? 400 more years of chattel slavery, where we were treated worse than animals. We were treated worse than cattle. 400 years in the hands of the worst of the heathen. And in cotton fields, sugar cane fields, and all manner of labor, having to endure scourging, beating, raping, pillaging, separating families, disregard for the structure. They could slay us and hold themselves not guilty. 400 years. And then we ask ourselves, watch, have we ever actually been set free? How is a person free, still living in the land of their captivity? Explain that to me. Explain to me how we're free and we don't own one mountain. Why we don't have the rights to one river that we might drink water freely. We don't have the rights. We don't have the right to owning absolute outright 1 inch of dirt. Because I promise you, if you own it here at any time, the so-called ex-slaver, the slaver can take it. It is a matter of paperwork. And we wonder why. We wonder why we're the butt of all jokes. Why are we the ones that they experiment on like lab rats? Why the Tuskegee experiment? Why the project? Why the ghetto? Why the drugs? Why the crack? Why the whoredom? Why the rap music? Why the removal of real instruments? Why our people come up with a damn music called drill? Why only us have our songs that are against our people and glorify the murdering and killing and raping of each other? Why are we subjugated to this kind of madness? Why every one of our shows that we watch is black exploitation? Every movie is about slavery. And we still spend money to be reminded, nigga, you ain't nothing here but a slave. Don't ever forget it. Why us? I know that's what we think sometimes. What is it? What happened? Why are we the ones without our last name? Don't know who we are. How is it that we are the only ones without our heritage? We ask questions like, where's my home? Where's my people? We're the only people on the planet that have adopted. Think about this. We have chosen for ourselves the gods of the dirty slaver, of the wicked slaver, of the human trafficker. We've chosen. Why us? We have the questions. Why do we work so hard and seem to bring in so little? Why is it that our people must depend on wickedness and unrighteous behavior in order to try to have some money? What is it? Why are we like this? Why do the policemen hunt us down? Why do they? What about us? Why, when we build a community, do they burn it to the ground? Why is it that every time we want to find out who we are labeled radicals? Why every time we want to discover our true lineage and heritage, they call you a rebel that must be dealt with? And in my case, who? Me, Moreh, Dr. Yoshiyahu. In my case, why, when I woke up to the truth and began to try to share it with my brothers and sisters, did I find that the 20 or 30 pastors come together? I'm not lying. They had a meeting in my city. All of the pastors came together without my knowledge, without my knowing, behind my back, and made a declaration and put it in ink on paper, which will stand in the judgment, by the way. They declared that I was the most dangerous man in Fresno. And to tell you the truth, I'm still insulted by that this very day. You gonna just give me Fresno, huh? That's all I get? I can't get California? Because obviously the whole California state must have thought I was dangerous because nobody called me to preach and teach the gospel no more to them. Let's just put it out there. Oh yes, they will all face the judgment because we tried to teach them who Yah was. And we have these questions that keep us up at night. And we wonder why until we read the Bible and find out. Zeke said, if you would have read my book, now I wrote this in the Bible a long time ago. If you'd have just read my book and went with me in the vision, I'd have showed it to you. I'd have showed you why. Our leadership is sold out to the enemy. Our leadership have already sold their soul to the beast. And we keep thinking that our leaders and the preachers and the pastors, we are still thinking and believing that these people are men of God. That these are brethren of the cloth. We keep thinking that these people are giving their lives to the work of the kingdom. And then we read Ezekiel and we find out they're not men of God. And they have not given themselves to Yah's kingdom. but they have wholly given themselves over to thingdom. And you Hebrews watching the Moreh, hear me. There is a great difference between his kingdom and their kingdom. For I heard my king say, for what does it profit a man if he's to gain the whole world and lose his own soul? You get all that stuff and then lose you. In other words, he said, what profit a man if he gain the world and go to hell? That's it. What does it profit if he gain the whole world and at the end of gaining everything, bust hell wide open? What's the point of getting everything but going to hell with nothing? Well, Grandpa said, you going not only down in the hole, you going down the side of the pit. That's what my grandpa said. He wrote it. He said, you're going down to the side of the pit. And I had to ask Ezekiel, I said, Zeke, what is it? Zeke said, come with me. Let me show you what Yah showed me. Because I had the same question when I was in Babylon. And I had preachers and pastors coming to my house. And I'm sitting here, and they all come to my house. And while I'm talking to them and they talking to me, the Most High show up and say, don't you listen to what they got to say. They full of you know what. Let me show you what's real. And while I was sitting in the midst, Zeke said, y'all picked me up out of the lock of my head and carried me to Jerusalem. And immediately started showing me satanic idolatry. And that's where we have been. What, Moreh? We've been with Zeke the last few days. Looking behind the scenes. Forget the pomp and circumstance. Forget the flashy clothes and the red bottom shoes. Forget the pyrotechnics. Forget the sorry acrobats and acrobatic behavior. Forget the flash. Let me show you what's going on behind the scenes. And as we went with Zeke behind the scene, we found out out something about these religious leaders. It's prophetic. We found out it's dark. It's dark. If anybody has been with Ezekiel in the vision for the last few days with the moray, and you found out that it's dark, woo! Behind the scene. Would you be so kind as to place a 12 in the chat for the 12 tribes of Israel? I said, if you've been with the moray, and we've been looking at how dark this thing is, man, whoa, wee, it's dark. Place a 12 for the 12 tribes of Israel. And open your Bible to Ezekiel chapter 8, and let's get back in that vision with him. Let's look around and see what he saw. He saw the wickedness of satanic imagery, Babylonian imagery, which was the same imagery used by the Medes and the Persians, by the Greeks, and by the European. Just changed names, and in time, changed color, but the same old wicked, idolatrous, rebellious system. We looked at it. Yeah, we did. And go to verse 7 of Ezekiel chapter 8. Your administrators put it in the chat. And if you all are being blessed by this kind of preaching and teaching, if you look forward to being in the room with the moray and with the ark, what do you require? What do we require? We tithes and offerings. The biblical way to support true Torah teaching and preaching. If you ask, well, you know what, Moray he puts in work, studying, preaching. The ARK is doing good work. How do I support a ministry like this? It's through the tithes and offerings. That's how it's done. And we thank each and every one of you who understand that and is willing to give the tithe and offering, because you also realize that when you obey the Bible the way he tells you to, those tithes and offerings become more than just what you consider to be an offering towards something. No, those tithes and offerings, you're going to understand one day, is also a key. And that key is used to unlock something. What, Moray? Windows of heaven. You don't understand it yet. But those who've been using the key and been unlocking the windows of heaven, they putting hallelujahs and hand claps in the room. They like, man, I just wish I would have known this 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Where would I have been? Oh, yes. But we're coming out of the darkness of this satanic cult, and we're beginning to walk in the newness of life. So now we are able to see the Bible the way it's supposed to be seen. So Todah Rabbah, for your support through the tithes and the offering. You look forward to this kind of preaching and teaching. Then let's keep it going. And I ask Abba Yah blessings upon your life. And he brought me to the door of the court. And when I had looked, And when I looked, behold, a hole in the wall. A what? Yes, there was a hole in the wall. He said unto me, son of man, dig into the wall. And when I digged in the wall, behold, a door. No way. Oh, yeah. I'm going to show you the underbelly, the behind the scenes. So that will answer your question about why you in captivity. And he said unto me, go in. And behold the wicked abomination that they, who? These leaders, these preachers, these so-called pastors, these so-called church mothers that you think is all holy and righteous. You're going to see how wicked and satanic they really are. He said, I went in and saw, and woo, every form of creeping things. Oh, yeah. I've been mentioning this before. They had humans and animals doing things together on walls that they ought not. They had animals. They had, just like I keep telling the world, this dog thing that's going on right now. I can't, y'all, it's because most of your minds have never even, you guys are so messed up. Our minds are so, do you know that this is a weird thing with these dogs? These people letting dogs in their bed. These folks sleeping with their dogs. These folks kissing and having relations and things with their dogs. And they got 5 and 6 dogs, and they carrying around dogs. And some of them are so into their dog. Women are so into their dogs, they don't even want to be with a man. They don't even want to be with another. If it's a man, he don't want to be with a woman. They don't. I just want to be with my dogs. And you find out that this type of wicked behavior, where these people are so debased that they actually now are posting pictures online with a dog licking them in places that they ought not. It's a violation of the Torah for you to lay down in a bed with an animal. You don't lay in the bed with a dog like you would lay in the bed with a person. All manner of wickedness going on behind the scenes. Half goat, half man. Where that come from? Baphomet. How'd you make it? A man having sex with a goat. That's how. And then we're going to run about talking about Cupid. Pull back your bow and let your arrow flow. What the hell are we doing? Oh no, that's happening behind the scenes. They call it riding the goat. It's an ancient Babylonian, then main Persian, then Greek, and it ends up in Rome, to where during these festivals they were riding the goats. And to this day, our people are still practicing those rituals in these lodges and in these fraternities and sororities. Goat riding pastors and goat riding preachers. He said, man, you see these abominations that they doing? Yeah. He said, man, I saw everything in there, every creeping thing, an abominable beast. What do you mean? Pigs, swine, in the house of worship. Some of your people right now, they can't get their day started unless they put swine flesh down their throat. Their whole world evolves around the foods of abomination. And if you tell them that Yah will judge you for eating that foods of abomination, they'll say things like this. If eating and consuming swine flesh, pig guts, pig ass, pig ears, pig feet, if I can't do that, then I would rather go to hell. If I can't do that, if doing that will cause me to go to hell, then I'm going to hell. That's what they'll tell you. And yes, you are. That's where you're going. Understand it. Ezekiel took us to the back room. He showed us that you're going to do this wickedness. All the abominable beasts. They got frogs and lobsters and shrimp and roaches, everything, man. They have a dish that's made in a pot, and the whole pot is abomination. They've taken every single thing that is abominable in the Bible, and they've made it into one dish. It's called gumbo, where they don't take clean fish, they take cat. They don't take like calf or sheep. No, they're gonna take pig. And they're gonna get shrimp, and they're gonna get lobsters, they're gonna get other sea roaches, and they're gonna get other bottom feeders. And then they stir that thing up, man. Oh yeah. You don't know what they're doing in here, man. It's an abomination. And what else? And all the idols of the house of it. Wait, stop. So they're serving idols too? Yeah. But I thought they were men of God. No, they're not. They don't care nothing about the Bible, don't care nothing about scripture. They're involved in secret societies. They got a different allegiance. Their God is their belly, which represents not only the way they eat, but the way they live. They are purely appetite driven, sinful, satanic, abominable, wicked appetite driven, low life, base life, barbarian life. And if you're still rolling with the moray as we look through this vision, if you can still see it with me and have not clicked off because you got your little feelings hurt, put a 100,000 in the chat. Let me just see if it's just going to be me and one administrator. Shalom, Z, I just saw your wrench. Oh, wait, there's two administrators. Yahrahn is in the room testifying that the things that I'm saying are true. Hallelujah. 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 You don't want to know, but I got to show you. Ezekiel's trying to show us what's in this back room. He said, and all the idols of the house of Israel portrayed up on the wall. What? Yeah. Just like when you walk into these ecclesiastical clowns, whorehouses, you see the European idolatry everywhere. You see the idolatry from the wooden cross, where Abba said curses is that hang on a tree. You see the idolatry in the pale pink people on the walls, when we know that our people, according to the Bible, had dark or brown brass skin or burnt brass skin, but not one person got brass or brown skin. Our people had black hair that locked. Not one person got locking hair. Idolatry everywhere. We do not have in our Bible not one European prophet. And yet the Europeans paint all the prophets of pink. We don't have not one European forefather for Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Why they come down through Shem? But when you walk in there, no, you don't see nobody from Shem. When you look up on the wall, all you see is Japheth. Japheth gods. Old, funny-looking Japheth. Weird, soft, sissy-looking Japheth. All over the wall. And when someone asks, who are these people? That's God. Them three people, them three, that's your God. Who's my God? That old white man is your God. And that other young white man that looks soft and sissified, that's God's son, and that's your God. And our people, ooh, you two man gonna mess with me today. Okay, I get it. No, but we still gonna show you. I gotta show you. I'm gonna show you anyway. We got images. Yahrahn had just sent something, either Yahrahn or Javon sent it to a little group chat, where you had these people bowing their knees to kiss an idol's feet. Who? The pastors. The preacher. It was a big room of them, and they had this idol. They was carrying it around of this white little sissy Caesar Borgia image. And they was making people kiss his feet, and everybody was doing it. And the Most High said, do you see that? and you wonder why you in the situation you in. I told you what your king looked like. I gave you detail concerning your king. I told you his hair and his beard was like lamb's wool. Why would you be bowing down to an image whose hair is not like lamb's wool, but look like a horse's tail? Explain that. Oh, you can't. I told you that his eyes were like a flame of fire. So explain to me why you bowing down to an image whose eyes are blue. Like water. I told you that his voice was like the voice of many waters. But you bowing down to images that got voices that sound like Tiny Tim. I said, y'all, what? You know better. I told you that his skin was as burnt brass as though it was burned in a furnace. And you bowing down and kissing the feet of an image whose skin is pink, whose skin resembles the pink flesh of the abomination. And then you wonder why you in captivity. Why are you struggling? You're wondering why you take one step forward and get knocked back 2 steps. You're trying to figure out why we can't. Because we are still guilty. After 400 years of captivity, we come out of the other side and we're still guilty. Our leadership among our people have been given wholly over into the hands of the enemy. They will stand before these idols, 70 men, the old men in the house of Israel, and in the midst of them stood Jahaziah, the son of Shaphan, with every man his censer in his hand, and a thick cloud of incense went up. What? Yes. Your people still doing that, you know. And if you still rolling with the more, already put a 200,000, I must work my way to a conclusion. Then he said unto me, Son of man, you see what the ancients of the house of Israel do in the dark? Do you see the dark side? Do you see the wickedness? Can you see it? And I was telling you all in a previous video that when Yah asks a question, he's not seeking information from you. In other words, Yah don't ask you a question because he's trying to learn from you. Yah is asking a question to see whether or not you understand him. Understand what he's trying to show you, what he's trying to teach you. Yah's questions to us are rhetorical. The answer is implied, which means the answer to this question is, yes, I see it. And if anybody else can see it, that's watching the Moreh, type in the chat, yes, I can see it. Put it in the chat. Woo, I got to go. Put that in the chat. Yes, I can see it. Can you see it? Yes, I can see it. Type that in. Yes, I can see it. Put the whole thing in there. Yes, I can see it. Toda Reba. Yes, I can see it. Son of man, can you see this? Yes, I can see it. Let's tell the whole world we can see it now. We don't have to be wondering what they're doing. The Most High is showing us. So no, we don't have no excuse. Yeah, I can see it. And some of us, if we be honest, we've been seeing it. Let us continue. And let me tell you something, you sneak listening pastors and preachers that are always in my video. Number one, you are welcome. Don't think you're not welcome. I don't sit in the high seat. I don't sit in the ivory tower. I was one of y'all, and you know it. Many of you all sat under my teaching for years. So when I'm preaching and you in the room, you think I'm trying to hurt you, but you don't understand. I'm trying to help you. You got to get out of that cult. You got to come out. It's falling. It's going to be destroyed. And if you are in that cult, when Yah destroys the beast, which I'm going to get to hopefully today in Revelation chapter 17 and 18, when Yah destroys the harlot, everyone connected to her is destroyed with her. That's the Bible. Said, do you see what they do in the dark? Yes, we see it. Every man in the chamber of his imagery? Yeah, man. Why they do that? Because they say, y'all not seeing us. What? Oh. Y'all don't see you. They said, no, y'all not seeing us. No, that's what they say. In other words, it doesn't matter about him. He don't care about us. And he don't care about this world. So what we have done is we've changed this. I'm using their language. We've changed gods. That's what's going on in the pulpits of the churches, in the choir. That's what's going on the piano. That's what's going on the motherboard. What? They've changed gods. That's what happened. Because they say, Yah don't see him. Now, I know that most of y'all are not going to do what I tell you right now, but make a note of this. I want you all to read the rest of this. I want you really to do this. I want you to read not only chapter 8, but actually read chapter 9. And when you finish chapter 9, read chapter 10. I know that's asking a lot for our people who don't like to read nothing unless it's garbage. If it's pornographic, you'll sit there and read it all day. If it's ghetto, you will read it all day. If it's gossip, you will sit there and scroll and read it all day. If it's ignorant, you'll read it all day. But if it's holy and righteous, all of a sudden, 2 chapters is too much to read. More all that reading. And you can't even use your thumb no more. It's so swole from scrolling. Your thumb you got carpal tunnel syndrome in your thumb because you scrolling all day and now you telling me you can't read 2 chapters of the Bible. You stop the foolishness and read the Bible. I'm going to try to help you. Just make a note. When I get out the room today, I know Morehyosh wasn't able to finish the chapters. I'm going to read those 2 chapters because I got to see where he was going. Oh, yes, I'm going somewhere with this. Because this is a continuation of the vision. And I'm not going to get to the end. I'm already looking at my time. So where you going? I got to get down into here. I got to get into verse 14. Because he said you're going to see even greater abominations than these. Greater? Yeah, greater. Would everybody put a 14 in the chat for me, please? Put a number 14. We in verse 14. While you're putting that in, all of you who just joined, we are in Ezekiel chapter 8, verse 14. Preaching the word of the kingdom to our people, showing them the dark side, showing them the underbelly, showing them the behind the scenes of the wickedness that we see now on display as the worship of Yah. But they say God. The worship of our King Yahushua, but they've changed his name to King Jesus. So we're going to see what's going on behind the scenes. And look, the way them 14s is in here. What? You mean more than just a moray and a couple of staff want to know the Bible? I see 14s rolling. So let's get into verse 14. And don't forget, support the work of the ARK. You know we putting in work. Then he brought me to the door of the gate of YAHUAH'S house. Of whose house? This Yah's house. He's looking. This is his temple. This is the place that was set apart and dedicated to the worship of Yahuwah. There was to be no Elohims here. No Elohim in his face. No other Elohims named here. None. They were not supposed to be worshiping, bowing down, doing none of that kind of stuff. But then we read and it says, at the gate of Yah's house, which was toward the north, and behold, he said, I looked, and there sat women. Wait, hold on, man. Maury, I thought this whole thing was just about the wicked pastors and about the wicked preachers. I thought you were just talking about the men. Because, you know, in the Bible, you know, in the church today and in society today, women are off limits. Oh, for real. That's the way it is in the churches. They off limits. Why? Because they got the most money. The churches are filled with women. Most of the men that are at church today are only there because it's a woman in there he's trying to get with, or there's a woman in there he's trying to keep. Because most of the house of Israel, the men have already peaked the game a long time ago. That's why they always say, nah, you going in there, I ain't going to hear that preacher. What you finna do? Them niggas will tell you, I'm finna watch a football game. Why? Because I already know he a pimp. Game recognized game. And there's got to be something going on because every week you cooking cakes and cookies, taking them up to that preacher. What the hell going on? Won't bake me nothing. Won't cook me nothing. Got me eating, because you know them heathens, got me eating bologna and spam and carrying on. And then when there's a church function, you got the whole kitchen tore up. No, so how about this? No, I ain't going. And they don't go. Now I'm trying to tell them sneaky listeners You need to come out of wickedness too. I'm going to show you in a minute. I'm going to show you in the Bible that your place is the head of the wife. Your place is the head of the house. And as the head of the house, your king is Yahushua. And Yahushua has commanded you to keep Torah. So now in Israel, women ain't off limits. You can't talk about women here. Oh, where? Oh, at the Ark? You got be out your mind. We preach the whole Bible. We don't sugarcoat nothing over here. What? This ain't that kind of church. This ain't that kind of ministry. We ain't like, no. Look, I done told y'all 1,000 times. I'm not finna skip over nothing in this Bible. I heard a person ask me one time, they said, well, what do you do about them passages in the Bible that you guilty of? And the premise, the premise of the question, it seemed to assume that I only preach parts of the Bible that I'm innocent. Because they so used to everybody else preaching around everything, I was like, okay, first of all, let's just go with this. I've broken all the commandments. Let's just start there as a person. Let's just start there. If I was preaching based upon my own righteousness, I couldn't get out of Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. So no, we don't preach based on myself. I'm not preaching Dr. YAHUAH'S life. I'm preaching Torah. And if y'all understood that, man, put a 400,000. Yeah, Morehyosh, I'm kidding. Put a 400,000. Do you preach things that you guilty of? Every time I get behind the camera, every time I get behind these lights, I'm preaching what I'm guilty of. Preaching what I'm struggling with. Preaching what I'm trying to overcome every time. I was reading the Bible one day and it said that the word of Yah is quick, which means alive. And then it said sharper. I say, oh boy, not just sharp, sharper, more sharp. It's sharper than any two-edged sword. There's a lot of two-edged swords out there that's sharp. He said, ain't none of them sharper than the word. It's so sharp, it can divide between the soul and the spirit. That's sharp. It can divide between the thoughts and the intent. What you talk about? Woo! Which means that if it's got two edges and two sides, it is a two-edged sword and it's sharper. How do you think I'm preaching it without getting cut? I'm an old man now. Y'all know that. So here I am as an old man. I grew up carrying a, pocket knife. All of us do. Carry a pocket knife. But my pocket knife is so sharp. I have to, every time I pick it up, gotta be careful. I'm like, I keep forgetting how sharp my knife is. Whoa, it's so sharp. It's so sharp. I have to be careful when I'm using it that I don't cut the air and suffocate. That's how sharp my knife is. No, my knife is sharp. I don't carry around no dull knife. If I'm fooling with the knife, the other day I was doing something and I said, what in the world? When did I get this cut? And I said, I'm fooling with my knife, just practicing. And end up bleeding. And don't ask me what I'm practicing for. That's my business. That's Morehyosh's business. I'm just trying to show you how you cannot handle the word of Yah, and it ain't cutting both ways. That's all I'm saying. What part of it do you preach? The whole Bible. Now let's get into the text. I know I digress, but let's get into the text. Because the text said, man, I looked in there and there was women in there. What were they doing? Weeping. More, that's not in the Bible. Yes, it is. They're weeping for TAMMUZ. They crying for TAMMUZ. Now, the other night, I got behind these cameras and lights, and when I got to this part, something happened with the wires, the transmission, YouTube. I don't know what it was. The chat box. I don't know what happened. When I got to this part, the whole thing cut off. And it didn't cut back on until I was done. I got a phone call. I think it was from Z, or maybe I was checking in on Gia. I said, Z, how's Gia doing? We start talking, and in the conversation, she said, oh, by the way, you do know your message didn't even come back until you were done with whatever you were saying about the women. I said, for real? So you know me. I ain't finna let that go. No. We ain't finna skip that part. So I'm back on it. And you saw the thumbnail. You saw it. You see it? Just in case you didn't see the thumbnail. There it is. Man, I can't believe he bold enough to do that. Look, I'm not like your preachers, and I'm not like your pastor. I'm not on your payroll. I don't have a convention. I don't have anybody telling me what I can and cannot preach. I don't follow that. I follow Torah. And that's why you all should support me. You should support the ARK, so that you can get the teaching of the whole Bible, because that's what we need in the last days. We don't need no more lies and sugarcoating and not bringing up the truth. So let's bring it out. Leadership, wicked pastors, women weeping for TAMMUZ. You got to be joking. He said, no, that's what they're doing. They're weeping. They're crying. And as I mentioned earlier on a previous video, I never shall forget. Remember, I'm a country boy. And coming out of the country, I didn't understand a whole lot of things. And one of the things I never understood was I didn't understand women's tears. I didn't grow up around women, ever. I've told that story a million times. I grew up in a matriarchal community. Everybody had a daddy. Everybody had their father around. And then if you didn't have your immediate father, you had an uncle, you had a grandpa, you had somebody. And all the men used to hang out together. And I spent my time hanging out with men. I didn't spend my time hanging out with women. I'm talking about my whole life. And Uncle Neville in the room, he'll tell you. And Speedy in the room, he'll tell you. Everybody who grew up with me said, oh yeah, for sure, that's for sure. So I didn't know about the whole tear thing. What about it, Moreh? That women can turn on tears and turn off tears. That tears are not like they are with us. See, a man, it take something, preach more, right? for a real man. I don't know about these men today because I don't know what this thing is today that they calling a man because it don't resemble nothing I grew up with. This thing that they got out today is more like a woman in a man's body. Talk like women and act like women and switch like women, emotional like women and cry like women. And it's like, okay, woo, I'm glad the gray is here that tell me that I ain't got much more time to have to hang around on this side and deal with that. I'm tired of going to places where I don't know the difference. Asking me what I want to eat and I'm looking at you, I don't even know what you are. I can't tell the difference. I don't know if I even want to eat if you bringing me the food. Because I don't know what it is that's bringing my food. I don't, that whole thing, I just don't understand that, but that's because I grew up around men. And then when I was young, whether you call it what you want to, when I was young, not 1 week, my life was manhood training. Please understand that. My life, from the time I was born until the time now, was manhood training. You know, every now and then, I'm going to get to my text, but watch. Every now and then, people write to ARK and say, you know, I have a son, and he seemed to be, not wanting to be like a real man. I want him to be raised like a man. I wonder if somehow I could send him to hang out with you for a summer, and maybe you could turn him into a man. Like, for a summer? You want me to turn that into a man like me in one summer? Oh, you watching TV. That's what you get that from. Where you watch television and there's a woman and she got a bad son, and then all of a sudden there's a summer camp, and then he go to summer camp, and then he hook up with a fella, and then after 3 months, he done turned from a wimp to a wrestler. He done turned from a sorry kid to now the strength of Samson and all that. So they believe that if they come hang out with Moreh at the ARK and cut a few weeds, and I'm like, listen, let me tell you something. My manhood training didn't happen in those summer months. It happened the first time I started acting like a girl. The very first time I cried for nothing. Don't you do that. If ain't nothing wrong with you, don't cry. It's the first time you fall off your bicycle and you scratch your knee and you want to cry bigger than the pain. That manhood training. Hey, are you really that hurt or are you acting? It ain't really that bad, is it? And you be like, no. Then brush your knee off and get back on the bike. That's manhood training. And your sister fall off the bike, no, you go hug her. She gonna cry for 20 minutes. That's fine, let her cry. She's a girl, she's supposed to cry. She scratched her knee. She don't want her knee scratched, but you a boy. You're gonna be full of scratches by the time you get to be a man. Manhood training, I told you, didn't start when I was no grown man for a week. And besides, you can't deal with manhood training my way. I told Freddie this, Freddie, my brother-in-law, right? We grew up together. Freddie said, look, man, y'all have a better chance downloading manhood from an app. I said, Freddie, you need hope for that. He said, grow up the way we grew up. He said, they have a better chance of downloading manhood from an app. No, this took years of getting all that icky out of you. You know, man, you get a whooping for that. You mean, you're a man. I can't go under the house. It's worms under there. Okay, then okay, I bet you're going to go up under there. Pretty soon you ain't going to do that no more in your life. You say, and you get whooped. I mean, you get trained about being a man. Pretty soon ain't no, You just do what you got to do. Pretty soon I'm talking about I ain't going outside because it's dark. I said, the first time I was a grown person before I heard a man tell me he was scared of the dark. I said, man, they beat that out of him. I mean, I'm sorry. I was trained out of that. I couldn't be no more than 6, 7 years old. Manhood training said, listen, the same thing that's in the light, son, is in the dark. I tell you, go get that bike off the yard. It don't matter if it's 1 o'clock in the morning or 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It's just grass in your bike. Go get your bike. And guess what? You better go get that bike and put it in the house too. That's all it was too. So after a while, you didn't care nothing about no dark. Grown men talk about it dark. I said, oh boy. So no, y'all, manhood training is lifestyle. But let me tell you, I'm going back to my text. So you didn't turn on tears as a man. You were taught against that. Unless you were really hurt and you couldn't help it. Unless physically you were really hurt, or if something really happened to you. If something really happens to you to where you cry, then it becomes, it's then not manufactured. At that point, it comes from a place of realness. Why? Because as a leader, being a man, as a natural leader, you always have to portray leadership and courage. Because when you do that, and you are strong, and you don't fake, if you do cry about something, then everybody around you're going to know that's serious with him. Why? Because he don't just be crying over anything. If he shed a tear, you better watch. Because he ain't just shedding a tear all the time. So I grew up like that. And so I didn't know that people could just turn on tears. So every time I would see a person crying, my heart would go out. And I'd be like, okay, you're going to be all right. Tell me what's going on, blah, 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 blah. And then, and I'm getting all caught up into the tears. And then I found out later that these Hebrew, they fake it. That they could turn on tears and turn them off. That they can cry, listen to me, over nothing. Okay, did I go too far? Am I lying? If I'm telling the truth, that a woman can cry over nothing, how about this? If I'm telling the truth about that, even though you ain't used to hearing no preacher tell it, if I'm telling the truth about that, would you put a 500,000 in the chat? If I'm telling the truth that a woman can cry over nothing, put a 500,000. Let's see if I'm telling the truth or lying. Z said I'm telling the truth. She put a 500,000. Let me get close. I just saw that ring. Wait a minute. There's way too many women putting 500,000. You put a 500,000? The women should be putting them 500,000 if they know the more they telling the truth. Hey, now I know I just exposed something, but I gotta show you. They're weeping for TAMMUZ. They're in the church. I'm using that term. Crying. And you think they crying over their sin because of their wickedness? You think they're crying over the house of Israel? Or they're crying because of the condition that they're going? You think that all these people are crying because they're so holy and they're so righteous and they're really just pouring their heart out before the Most High, and they really are weeping before the Most High Yah because they want the Most High's blessings, they want the Most High's leadership and guidance. And then he said, man, these girls, these women ain't any, this ain't got nothing to do with me or the temple or anything. Then what has it got to do with? It's TAMMUZ. It's what? It's TAMMUZ. Okay, so let me get into this a little bit. Number one, TAMMUZ is connected to Ishtar. It's Ishtar's sexual or her cohort or her sex partner. TAMMUZ is the idol god of sex, war, and fertility. His cohort is Ishtar, which you all know as Easter. As Easter comes from Astarte, which is Ishtar. They all the same, and it comes to different cultures had different names, but it's the same gods. I told you this before. It's the same thing as anyway. We'll talk about that in a second. So here, there's an idol, which is the god of the Babylonians, which is TAMMUZ. TAMMUZ is known for the TAMMUZ tree. That's the number one thing he's known for in the world. The TAMMUZ tree is the Christmas tree. It don't matter what wood is used. It could be a palm tree from the Middle East. It could be a pine tree from Europe. The tree is not the point. It's the pole of the tree. That's the point. They pick a tree that stands straight up like this. Why? Because they don't have like for instance, we have the fig tree. It's a different kind of tree. They have that palm tree and that pole, that TAMMUZ pole. It represented the male penis. It's the phallus. TAMMUZ. TAMMUZ representing sex, power through sex, domination through sex, and domination, watch this, through war. But it was necessary for TAMMUZ to prosper in the earth where Ishtar rules. So remember, that's his cohort. So they have sex together, and when they have sex, then that's when her energy, quote unquote, feminine energy of wickedness, sexual perversion, all manner of bestiality and everything else your brain can think of. It's the most nasty, perverted, sick. Your brain as a human, you can't even begin to go into those areas of how dirty and nasty this religion is. And the whole point of it was to produce, what they believe was to produce prosperity and good crops. And so therefore they implemented orgies in every type of worship that they did. So you never just had, like, I'm not gonna do the comparison to Yah right now and the house of Israel. I'm gonna just stay with the pagan. So you never had pagan religions that did not include orgies and orgy type behavior and worship. They went together. It's something they've been doing for thousands and thousands of years. Is when you went into the temples, they always had temple prostitutes. The temple prostitute all over the world is a staple in every single world religion. They're always there, and everybody know who they are. Today, in the church, you all know who they are too, because you will say it. You say, nah, that girl right there, or that woman is a church hoe. She's been with everybody. She's been with the pastor, she's been with the choir, she's been with the piano, she's been with and she might go both ways. Everybody watching the movie, we know that that church hole is a part of every single one of those communities. Because it's Babylon. It's Babylon. Ain't no laws. You know, the law been done away with. And these women always putting on this face of being holy and righteous and untouchable. And it took Yah to drag Ezekiel by his lock of his head to say, oh man, I know you may have thought that, but you need to look over here at these women. See them weeping? Yeah. You think they weeping for me? No, they weeping for TAMMUZ. Which means that they have sold out. They don't care about me. So let me talk about that for a moment. And I say I'm already over time, and then I'll bid you farewell. Weeping for TAMMUZ is weeping for a pagan fertility god. TAMMUZ don't have nothing to do with Yahuwah. He has nothing to do with the visible image of the invisible Yahuwah, Yahushua. He had nothing to do with Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Moses. So where does he come from? He come out of Ur of the Chaldees. He is a Mesopotamian god. A Mesopotamian god. And all of the feasts of Mesopotamia, which again just morphed into the Greeks, and then it found its final form in Rome, which is the church. The final form of this God is the Roman church today, which every church is the daughter. Let's just put that out there. Now, why was he worshiped? Because, as I said before, he was the god of fertility, and they believed that in order to have good crops, they believed that this God, watch, had to rise from the dead every year. So he's alive in spring, and he does all his work, and then when the winter comes, they say he dies. So around Christmas, they say he starts to come back alive. And then 40 days until Easter, they do a thing called Lent, where they weep for him a little over a month before Easter comes. They're crying because they believe, listen to this. Ooh, almost said something on Shabbat. They believe that their tears are what is used to fall into the ground, and that their tears turn into rain that goes into the ground. And when this God who has died sees the tears go into the ground, then that God will respond to those tears, rise up out of the ground, have sex with Ishtar, and spring will show up, and he's risen from the dead. And now through sex, orgies, and all manner of wickedness and power and war, they have now been empowered to run the whole world. And every year the same thing happens. So every year they're praying for his resurrection. And they believe that it is their tears that go into the ground that wakes him up so that he can have sex with Ishtar. And that she is the fertility goddess. Remember, she's the female. And her symbol is the egg wrapped with a snake. It's satanic now. That's where the colored eggs of Easter come in. Another one of her symbols is a rabbit. Why? Because they have a bunch of babies. Fertility symbol, right? All of this is going on. This is wickedness. And the Most High said that's what they're doing. They're not weeping for me. No, they're in there faking. They're in there making tears for Tammuz, to get Tammuz to get up. Now, if y'all just learn something at the Ark, put a 600,000. If you just learn what the weeping of Tammuz is, put a 600,000. Like, Moray, what? Yes. Matter of fact, you cannot reach Tammuz. Look at them 600,000. Oh, we learned it on this Holy Shabbat. You cannot reach Tammuz. During the time of mourning for Tammuz, you cannot reach him without your tears. So therefore, the women have learned how to just turn the tears on. It has nothing to do with Yah. It has something to do with a ritual. It's a ritual crying. Now, let me tell you how that has transferred into the church. Ritual crying is in the so-called Christian church, but I keep telling you is the exact same thing as what's going on in Rome and in these pagan religions. Today, people do not feel that they've been to worship if there's not some crying going on in the service. If you don't cry, you don't even feel like you had a good time. I was trying to figure this out. I was telling Yahrahn, I said, Yahrahn, you know, when we study Torah, our feast days are supposed to be days of joy and happiness and praise, right? If we cry, it's primarily tears of joy. You know, we got 7 feasts, and each one of those feasts really is supposed to encourage our heart. And I said, hey man, what is going on that every time we have a get together, these women don't feel like they actually had service or a good time until they cry. One night around the campfire, one of the ladies said, you know what, we've been here. This is at Sukkot or Passover, I can't remember which one it was. We're around the campfire, and a lady said, you know, everybody been smiling and having a good time and going on this week, but I just want to say something. And I said, oh, hell, here we go. And she said, you know, but some of us, some of our lives. And I said, damn, I can't believe this. Because you know what? Some people are smiling really. They're like, it's okay, baby, come here. And the next thing I know, everybody around the fire was crying. I said, I'm getting the hell out of here. I got up and asked them. They know. Where Morehyosh go? Man, I'm not dealing with that bull. Just a minute ago, you was giving high praise to the Most High Yah, and now you done started talking, and you just turned on some tears. You ain't sad about nothing. It's fake. You got that from the heathens weeping for Tammuz, that you don't feel that Yah can hear you unless some kind of way you whip your emotion into a frenzy. And you believe that through your emotional frenzy, Yah has to respond because you shed a tear. And you wicked as hell, mean, don't know the Bible, don't keep the commandments, got another man's husband, got another woman's husband. What are you talking about? Eating wrong, life ain't straight, don't give tithes, don't give offering, but you feel like all I gotta do is weep. Listen, we don't worship Tammuz. Our king said, my people, they always want to talk. They always want to say hallelujah with their mouth. He said, that's one thing, but their heart is far from me. They ain't crying because they really hurt. Most of the time they crying because they're trying to get something. Is this too straight for y'all? Is it too true? What do they want, Morehyosh? Things. They hate to be told no. So therefore, when you're dealing with these kind of women, they're going to use tears. Why? So they can get things. Because if weeping for Tammuz is going to give me a purse with some European name on it, then I'll weep for Tammuz. The very Europeans that put you in captivity and slavery, you don't even feel like you are an Israelite unless you can carry one of your slavers' purses. What you think about that? Unless you can put one of your ex-slavers' purses on your shoulder, you don't even feel like you an Israelite. You don't even feel blessed. Unless you can wear their name on your feet. Unless you can wear their name. So what do? You weep for Tammuz. And all the brothers, we fall for it. Why? Because we believe the tears. I mean, it's not like I asked for a lot. I just don't understand, you know. And you be like, you know what, damn. Because for us, if we start crying, it means something. So we like, man, if it means that much to you, okay, I guess I will. Take $20,000 and go get you that purse. I had to borrow the money, so you go get 25, 30,000 so you can get your woman the bag. And then you find out that before she told you she wanted that bag, she talked to her sister on the phone or her cousin and said, look, this man got the money, I know. And she said, did you cry? You're like, cry? Yeah. No, nigga, cry. And then she started crying. And then the brother went down, spent the money. They'll weep for Tammuz. Bounty. It was all about an emotion to receive crops, fertility, Do you see the point I'm trying to show you? They were doing this because they felt like if I follow this cult and these practices, I'm going to get more stuff. I'm going to be more prosper. I'm going to be more prosperous. I'm going to have more fruit. I'm going to have more land. I'm going to be more loved. I'm going to be more, people are going to recognize me. Why? Because I'm going to weep for Tammuz. And when Tammuz see my tears, he going to bless me. You know how far that is away from the Bible? That is not Torah. The Bible, our blessings come from our covenant. Our blessings come from obedience. Our blessings don't come from tears. You ought to read the verses in the Bible that say, I'm not going to hear you even though you shed many tears. When the Most High said, I'm not going to hear you even though you shed many tears, when he says that, you know what he means? I don't give a dang about your tears. Your tears don't mean nothing to me. It's your obedience that means something to me. Bring the tithe into the storehouse. And prove me now herewith if I won't open the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing. But you know how much easier it is for a woman to cry than to bring a tithe? You want to exchange your tears. And brothers, I'm trying to tell you, we've been falling for it, man, our whole life. So the woman is crying and weeping for Tammuz, which represents she believes in emotional religious response. That Yah should respond, or her God should respond because she's shown emotion. So therefore, a cult is created around this particular type of emotion. That's not Hebrew. It's not Israelite. It's a cult that caters to these emotions, which is, for the woman, for the most part, it is, if I can show emotion, especially in weeping, I can get what I want. And therefore, she weeps for Tammuz in order to align herself with Ishtar. Stay with me. Remember I told you Ishtar and Tammuz are lovers, right? So when Ishtar weeps, because Tammuz is dead, they say, if I weep with Ishtar, then Ishtar, was Easter, will also see that I'm with her and that I feel her, and I'm with her. And then she'll bless me too. It is not based on truth. It's based on a lie. This is all satanic mythology. This is Babylonian and Mesopotamian and Grecian and European idolatry. Believing that by mourning, just by being sad and crying, some kind of way that automatically puts me in the place of blessings. So why are they doing this? I'm going to use this word because I know people don't like this word, but I'm going to use it anyway. Why are these women allowed to do this? When you read the text, it seems like not only are they allowed to do it, but that this action is being supported by the men. Because when you go in the temple, the first picture you see is not of the women. The first picture you see of the men who have given themselves to idolatry and wickedness. And that's the way it's supposed to be written, because the men are the natural leaders. So once the men go crooked, then they don't have a leg to stand on with the women. So now the women can say to Jeremiah, just like they said to Ezekiel, but they said to Jeremiah in the book of Jeremiah, they said, yes, we are worshiping the Queen of Heaven. Yes, we do cook our bread. We make buns for her every year. Easter, we make hot cross buns for her for Easter. Yes, we do that. But are we doing that without our husband's knowledge? In other words, who is cutting the wood and bringing the wood in the house so that we can have fire to bake the cakes? And Jeremiah was like, you are some wicked somebodies. Y'all, the whole thing is wicked. So when you see the wickedness of the men, leaders, then you see the wickedness of the women. And you see the worship of Tammuz, and you see it in full display at these women, not based on true emotion, but based on ritualistic timing, based on satanic timing. Not because they just feel something, no, because this is the time to start mourning, and they just turn it on, weeping for Tammuz, just like in Lent. It's the same exact thing. I don't have time to do that today, but I wish I had time. So now their worship is an emotional spectacle that have been turned on at will in order to invoke a dead God to come back to life so that this God can have sex with this other God, and between the two, I can be blessed. The reality is, this is literally the definition of in vain do they worship. That's a definition that is empty, it's worthless. And in Ezekiel, he said it's wicked and rebellion. It's wickedness and rebellion. And when I told you to read those other chapters, chapter 9 and chapter 10, when you read the rest of those two chapters, he's going to say, now, do you understand why y'all ended up in captivity? It was these gods, these idols. It was these nations, the very nations that have you in captivity are the gods that you've chosen to be your God. And that's why you got to go. I can't believe he's saying this. I ain't never heard no preacher preach like this, and you won't. Everyone I told you is on a payroll. They got to be loyal to a camp. They have to be loyal to a system. I have been given the freedom by Abaya to be a prophet in the last days, to be a seer. He said, I must, and look, y'all already know, I'm just out here on his word. You were brought to this channel. I did not go get you. You did not elect me to be your Moreh. I wasn't in line with like 7 other Morehs of the Ark, and then y'all went in the back room and voted and said, okay, Moreh going to be the teacher. That's not how it happened. The Most High told me, you're going to be a seer in the house of Israel. And I was like, who? He said, you. I was like, okay, you have no idea who you calling. He said, I know that. That ain't the point. Regardless of where I got you, in the gutter or the garbage can or the junkyard, I can take that which is what you consider nothing and make him something. And that's what he did with me. That's why you don't see me on no high horse or no ivory tower. But I also am not under some church pastor or some bishop or some Catholic or some convention telling me I can't preach the whole Bible. Because they are afraid. Can you imagine a pastor preaching in his church? He'll be fired before the morning. I said, if a pastor tried to teach what I'm preaching, he would be fired. Boy, when he got out that pulpit, he'll be waiting all day for his check. He'll be waiting. Hey, Rev, you ready to go home? Man, they haven't came out the back room yet. I said, ain't came out the back room yet. You ain't ready to go? Man, they gotta wait for them to come out the back room. What they doing back there? I mean, you know, man, they gotta get my check. I said, brother, you might as well come on home with me. Let me call Tahilah, see if she cooking something. Let me call Yahrahn, man. The pastor, he just finished preaching Ezekiel 8, man. And they ain't never came out to study, man. Can we come over, man? And, can we come by and get something? What Tahilah gonna cook? Come on, pastor, come with me. I said, come on over here, man. Tahilah always got a little something. They got a garden in the back. Don't worry about it. But you get some food for the day. Because you waiting for them to give you a check, but you don't realize you fired. You are fired. You understand that? They ain't finna give you nothing. You can't talk about the women and they putting all the money in the church. Tell them that they crying, they tears don't mean nothing. But they been practicing crying all week. Yes. You want? Come on, man. Come with me. Let me see if Tahilah got something, man. At least you can get some food. And then you got to get out of here and get on your own way. That's all I'm going to help you with. It's by maybe 1.5 meals. That's it. Because you should have been gone out of there by now. Women can be and are wrong in Scripture. This idea that a woman ain't never lied, that she ain't never wrong, that she's not never sneaky, that she never done something behind somebody's back. Man, where in the world did y'all get that from? You didn't get it from the Bible. And we can't preach it. Who can't preach it? Oh, the one that's got, okay, but I can. Take a couple of notes. The very first woman that we see on earth, her name is Chua. What does she do? What is her claim to fame? She listened to a fork-tongued consultant, and she obeyed and followed the serpent because the serpent told her that Yah was lying. She said, no, we can't even touch it lest we die. First of all, that ain't recorded that you couldn't touch it. So I don't know where she got that from. She said, no, we can't even touch it. We can't touch it lest we die. The first thing Satan said, man, you ain't gonna die. What means what? Yah is lying. And then he told her, not only is he lying, he's trying to protect his own his own position as Elohim. He don't want no competition. Because if you eat this fruit, you're going to be just like him. And she had no idea that she was already made in his image and in his likeness. I'm not going to preach that sermon right now. But she followed the devil. She followed the serpent. That's script. And then what did she do? Influenced Adam. She made Adam choose. And Adam chose her over Yah. Maury, is this that simple? Of course it's that simple, because that's what's happened. That's exactly what happened. I heard somebody preach a sermon and they were saying, no, it's his fault because he was at the tree. He was not at that tree. That's a lie that the women started preaching a few years ago. I don't know where that came from. Adam was not there. He was not at that tree. Hasatan waited until the woman was alone. Just like he does now. He waits till the man is gone, either at work or doing something. And then here comes television. Here comes social media talking to the woman. Here comes some auntie, some cousin, some slick talking Negro. Them fork-tongue consultants are still here today. But the lust of the eye, she saw. The lust of the flesh. And the pride of life, she tasted. She said, it's good. And the pride of life to make one wise. And then the Bible says when Yah confronted them, he said, listen to the Bible, not what people say. Listen to the Bible. He's told Adam, because you hearkened, watch, to the voice of your wife, not the devil, not the serpent. He wasn't there. Or the Most High would have said, because you listened to the serpent, this is your curse. Because if they were both there and the serpent was talking, then he would have been listening to the serpent. But he did not listen to the serpent. He listened to his wife who had listened to the serpent. And so the Most High judged Adam on who he talked to. You took your wife's voice over mine. But then he talked to Chua and said, you listen to the devil. You listen to the snake. Oh, yes. Grandma sinned. Her grandma's transgression, that's what the Bible calls it, is not hidden in the Bible. Who else, Moray? Just talking. Oh, which, by the way, this is a lesson for us, right? That the men are supposed to always obey Yah. And if our wives or our women want to go against Yah and follow the devil, we're supposed to tell them, no. No. Mm-mm. Even if she already ate a piece of the fruit, throw it down, put it in the garbage, get down on your bended knee, let's pray to the Most High for forgiveness. Because no, I'm not following you in the wickedness. Number 2. Who else more in the Bible? What about Sarah? Grandma Sarah? Yeah, Grandma Sarah. You think she did everything right, or do you think she was wrong? But her intention, I ain't saying that about her intention. Was she right to tell Abraham to take Hagar when Yah had already told Abraham that I'm going to bless you and your seed with Sarah? No, it was her lack of faith that tried to come up with another idea. She was wrong for that. Like, you can't say that in the church today. circumstantial situation, all that. Look, the bottom line was, Sarah, that promise that Yah made with Abraham was going to be fulfilled with Yah and Abraham and you. And just because something don't happen in your timing, don't mean it ain't going to happen. Yah move on his own time. Have y'all ever been around? Look, this ain't no man and woman. I'm just talking because we talking about women right now. Have y'all ever been around a woman who asks you to do something and you say, okay, I'll do it in a minute. And when you get ready to do it, she say, forget it. Why? Because you didn't do it exactly when I told you to do it. First of all, who are you? Forget I just do myself. Dang, you just told me. I'm watching the game. I'm trying to see whether or not these old sorry 49ers is going to get another point, and you calling me down about, can I go do such and such? And I say, just wait till after the game. I want to see if these sorry 49ers at least going to get one more point. And now you say, forget it, and mad. And I didn't say no. I didn't say I wasn't going to do it. I said, just wait, but you don't like that. Just like when Yah has said wait and you didn't like that. So you intervened and got between Abraham and Yah and the promise and caused all manner of wickedness to happen in your house. And Hagar, you ain't off the hook either. Because when Hagar got pregnant, she walked around in pride and began to despise Sarah. Sarah was like, oh, hell no. Girl, whoa! And you already know that whole story. Rebecca, come here, Rebecca. Moira, you can't pull out Rebecca. Who can't? I'm trying to tell you, man, the women in the Bible ain't all good like y'all think. Come here, Rebecca. When Jacob came here, tell the truth. Did you know that was your sister and not you? But you didn't say nothing. Matter of fact, hey, come here, Leah. So when Grandpa Jacob was getting married, and did y'all get behind the scene and talk? And you let him have sex with you knowing that you wasn't your twin? Well, how'd y'all come up with that? Because your dad said the oldest got to be married first, but you didn't have enough integrity to say, Pops, man, but he thinks I'm so-and-so. Wickedness. Rebecca, come here. Rebecca, I ain't mad at you, Grandmama. I'm just trying to show the world. Remember when Jacob was trying to leave? Remember when your grandpa, remember when your dad came and he said, hey, I know y'all getting ready to leave here and all that, but I can't find my idols. Remember that? See, I ain't forgot, it's written in the Bible. You brought idols from your dad's house. And when he was looking for them, you sat on the chest. You sat on the box. And when he came by looking for his idol gods, wicked heathen idol gods, you told him you was on your period. You thought of a lie that fast in order to save those idol gods that you should have been done with, because you now with Jacob, who really is Israel. You should have been done with the idols, but you snuck them idols out didn't want to tell nobody. Wicked. And then when your dad, your actual father, you didn't have enough righteousness in you to tell your daddy the truth. Yeah, Dad, I took them. I wanted to have these gods because, they fertility gods, and they helped me get money. They helped me be happy. No, you just snuck them in the chest. And when he was looking for them, you sat on the chest. And then when he asked you about it, your mind lied so fast. You crossed your legs and said, Dad, don't make me get up because I'm on my cycle. So they do lie. So now, we don't follow the movement to say, believe every woman about everything she says. She lied. Anybody else? Yes. Who else, Monray? Who was that? I'm sorry, Rachel. That was Rachel. I said Rebecca. Rachel. Let me fix it. Rachel. She took her father's idols. Who else? Miriam. Miriam? Yeah. And so whoever corrected me in the chat, Todah Rabbah. That's why we together. We working together. Miriam, Moses' sister. Yeah. Women did wrong in the Bible. Her and her brother got nerve to get mad at Moses because Moses married a sister. They didn't like that. Now, they all of color, but he married, quote unquote, outside of his race. And she spoke against Moses. The Bible. Out of jealousy. And start telling people that she could lead just as good as he could. Who can? I can. He ain't, that's my little brother anyway. I can lead better than him. Really? That's why Yah slapped you with leprosy. And you're lucky he didn't kill you. You better be glad somebody prayed for you and intercede for you. You got to watch women and their jealousy, covering it up with covering that wicked jealousy up. They cover it in religious garb and some type of pious, they do it with a pious posture. When in reality, they are just covering their covetousness. But Yah can see through all that. Man, I ain't nobody preached like this. What about Delilah? She's in the Bible. The strongest man that we had until Hamashiach. Let me put that out there. Hamashiach was the absolute strongest. He was the lion of the tribe of Yehudah. Nobody could whoop Hamashiach. You better get that little weak sissy image of Hamashiach out your head. You're going to be so shocked when you see the lion of the tribe of Yehudah. Nobody could take Hamashiach. Just like nobody could take Samson. Just like in the 70s, when nobody could take out the lions of the tribe of Yehudah. Nobody. Nobody could take Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier. Nobody could take Larry Holmes. Nobody, you can't take, my boy that made the barbecue, George Foreman. No, that's showing you the tribe of Yehudah. Who? The greatest fighters of the world. No one in the world could whoop them. They from the tribe of Judah. They from the house of Israel. And Hamashiach can whoop them all. Because he's the lion. But before Hamashiach, there was Samson. And Samson went to Delilah to get a little relaxation, a little massage. She thought he liked her. He thought that she liked him and that they really had something going. He'd go over there and they have a little rendezvous. Had no idea the whole time Delilah done hooked up with the enemies of Israel. She said, what would you give me if I turn him over to you? They said, you can't turn him over, man. This Negro done whooped us with jawbones of asses. This man done tore gates off the wall with his bare hand. She said, just tell me, give me some money. I'll make sure I hand this Negro over to you. Y'all know that story. She acted all sweet. Hey, baby. He's like, hey, what's going on, girl? None. I just sad. See how she turned on the tears? I'm just sad. Of what? Because you always talking about you love me and stuff, but you don't really love me like that. What did I do now? I'm just saying. You're always acting like you love me, but if you really love me, why you be keeping secrets? He like, this is a weird line of question. He don't know no better. He don't know what's happening. He thinks, again, remember, men don't, that's why I'm putting my men up on game. He's thinking that this woman is crying for real, that she's sad for real. He don't know that this is an ARK act to find out where his strength lies. You got to read the story. I ain't going to keep going, but you already know the story. Tie me up with new rope and all that kind of stuff. He says, you keep lying to me. Stop it. All of it was fake. All of it was a show. All of it was an act. She was going to kill him. She wanted him dead so she could get paid. And some of you brothers are still laying your head in Delilah's lap to this very day. You big, bad, strong Hebrew Israelite, weak as water, giving up your strength to a woman. What's wrong with you? No. And you start giving waterworks a while where my power comes from, I'm going to be like Delilah. I've seen you before. You in the Bible. You wicked as hell. I'm going to get up out of here. Baby, don't go. She. Please, man. No, you ain't worried about me. You worried about you not getting them what was that, 50 shekels or whatever it was. You worried about them shekels. I'm over time. Jezebel. Oh, but listen to mouth. Oh, yes. Idolaters. In the house of Israel. Married to one of our kings. Murderer. She manipulated the king. Manipulated the people. Set up Ahab came home one day. He was kind of sad. She said, what's wrong with you? He was like, Naboth, this vineyard, it's like right against the temple, the palace. And I would just like to have it so I could, maybe put some flowers or something, maybe some herb. But he talking about I can't have it. She was like, what do you mean you can't have it and you the king? See how that woman thinks? You see how quick her brain went to, I'm going to get it if I want it? What does that mean to you? You're the king. You got an opportunity to gain, to get. You are the king. You have power. Just get it. But Ahab at the time understood Torah. You cannot take the land out of the family. It's against the Torah. For your lot to be taken by anybody, a person in Torah, you couldn't even sell the lot. The lot is given by Yah. You couldn't even sell the lot. If you wanted to sell it, you couldn't sell it. It's against Torah. You had to keep it in the family. The only thing you could do, you could lease it out, but at the end of every 7 years, all the land got returned. And at the end of the 50 years, all debt got returned in Israel. So that way, every family never lost land. Y'all had to set up like that. Families never lost land. They never lost that. But this king wanted it. But Naboth told the king, you know I can't give you this land. Besides, man, it's my land. You don't get up out of here. She said, why are you crying? And he said, because Naboth won't give me the vineyard. And she said, go on, lay down. I got it. Just like these women today, quick. But she thought of a plan so fast. She thought of a lie so fast. You got to read it. She said, go elevate Naboth. And then as soon as they started elevating Naboth, she hired 2 other people and said, now go say that he blasphemed the king. He blasphemed Yah. And they did that, boy, and they killed Naboth and took the vineyard that day and gave it. That's Jezebel. You think that all the Jezebels is dead? You crazy. Jezebel's in the church right now. Weeping for Tammuz. I don't have time to keep going, but Athaliah, who is she, Moreh? One of the first kings. The only woman queen in the house of Israel. And how did she get there? Treason. Murderer. She killed everybody and took the throne. Job's wife. I can keep going. When you see these women, what are they doing? Man, she cool when Job is up, rich, wealthy, got money, paid, big old family and everything. But as soon as Job going through trouble, watch the crazy word. I remember me and Nat had a conversation about this. The word that she used, she said, why don't you curse God and die? So you know, in Hebrew, there's 2 sides to every word. Right? There's 2 sides to every word. So there's a blessing in the positive, and then there's the blessing in the negative, which is what we call a curse. So watch this. Basically what she says is, listen, she says, die. You know, that's cold right there, ain't it? When your wife basically said, nigga, die. What use are you to me? You don't have nothing no more. You lost your house, lost your family, you lost all your influence. Now look at your health and your friend, and I got to take care of you. Now your breath stink, you got sores all over your body. Ugh. You need to do what you're going to do and get on out of here, man. Just ask for death. And the way I know I'm telling you is the truth, because I've read these stories so many times. I keep telling you I've read the Bible 1,000 times. Let me tell you what actually happened. He told her, you are talking like one of these foolish women who don't know Yah, because it's about money for you. That's your problem. It's about stuff. And he was like, if you really look at my life from Yah's point of view, I came here, I didn't have nothing. I remember when I was struggling, and Yah blessed to have all of this. So I'm supposed to praise him when I get stuff, and then when I go broke, I'm supposed to curse him. So I'm supposed to change my attitude with Yah based on how I have stuff. He was like, no, that's your problem. That's a woman thing. It's not a male response. A true biblical righteous response to struggle is, I'm here for you no matter what. I never shall forget a lady told me that And she believed this until she died. I remember she said to me, I was a young college student, and I was struggling. And she helped me out. Just, cooking food or doing whatever, right? And then I said, this is amazing that you've been so kind to me. I said, I made some kind of statement like, because you're blessed, because she had they were kind of wealthy, right? You know what she said to me? She said, if I only had a syrup sandwich, I would share it with you. That's what she said. Y'all don't even know what a syrup sandwich is because you didn't grow up in the time I did. She said, all this stuff don't matter. She said, if I only had a syrup sandwich, that's white bread with syrup just poured on it and pushed together. She said, I would share it with you. That was not, Joe's wife didn't have that attitude. No. When they got down to syrup sandwich, the syrup sandwich status, she was like, man, die. And time would fail me to deal with Lot's wife, Herodias, who orchestrated the beheading of John the Baptist. No, I don't sit in a place where I'm going to say all women are perfect. All women never make a mistake. All women never do wrong. All women are not. Now, let me tell you something. If the men got issues and problems, the women got them too. And if the woman got them, the man, they both have them. There's none righteous, no, not one. And the Bible said these women are in here crying and worshiping and praying and going through emotional catharsis over Tammuz. And brethren, I'm going to tell you something. Matter of fact, I got to give credit to Javon, who brought this up to me. And ever since he said it during the conversation about a few months ago, I could never shake it. And I'm going to bring it out today. He said, our women are all into witchcraft. I said, nigga, if you don't get out my face with that. He said, you don't think so, Dad? I said, okay, explain it. He said, I don't care if they're Hebrew Israelites. Ask them about zodiac signs and horoscopes. Ask them. You're going to find out something that you don't want to know. I said, what? They all know it. What do you mean they all know it? All of them. There's not one that you're going to find that don't know what each of them is. They not only know whether you're a Capricorn, Leo, Sagittarius, whatever. I don't even know them all. I don't know what they are. But he said, ask them. They know every one. But they can't tell you they can't tell you the 12 tribes of Israel. They can't name the 12 disciples, but they know them zodiac signs, I guarantee you. And not only will they know all those signs, they also know what sign is compatible with what sign. And they also know what does this and what does that. And I said, boy, go on with that, man. And then I started testing it. I was like, damn. Oh, our women will still make decisions based on the zodiac sign. That's the worship of the stars. They follow the planets. And they believe that They believe that stuff to the point to where they will start talking in those terms to each other, and you won't know what the hell they talking about. A woman will look at another woman like, Sagittarius. You already know. Like, oh, dang, I forgot about that. You right, child. You're like, what did you just say? Nothing. What do you mean nothing? You said something. Nothing. Why you say nothing? Because I don't want to hear it. What you going to say? Because, Maury, you always going to take it too far. No, nigga, what did you say? I said Sagittarius because Sagittarius is this. And when they come to a Pisces, blah, 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 I'm like, whoa, how do you know this? Who taught you that? Where did you get that from? Who taught you that? Because that's not in Torah. You go to church every Sunday. That ain't in Torah. Some of y'all keep a Shabbat and know that stuff. That's not in the Bible. So obviously you are doing study into the world of Tammuz. And that's why our families are struggling when it comes to these feast days. Because the wives are weeping for Tammuz. They're crying and going through emotional, what is the word? I want to keep saying catharsis, but they're going through like this whole emotional thing if you don't do it. You don't love me if you don't get me something for Valentine's Day. You don't love me if you don't get me something for Christmas. You don't love me if you don't get me something for my birthday. You don't love me if you don't get me something for Easter. You don't love me if you don't love me. You don't love me. What the hell? That's the truth. And if you know I'm preaching the truth, put a 700,000 in the chat. Let the world know that there is a seer in the house of Israel that's not afraid to tell the truth about what's going on here. That our prophet Ezekiel saw. They're weeping for Tammuz, which means they're keeping all of them zodiac signs. They're keeping all of them horoscopes. They're keeping all of that palm reading, all of that going good in your fortune told. They're keeping all of these satanic holidays and putting pressure on their husband to make sure that he does that, all in the threat is if you don't, I'm leaving. If you don't think you finna come over here and get none. And brothers, I don't know why y'all keep falling for this over and over again. Do you realize that your woman don't get you nothing, ever? For all them satanic feasts and feast days that you're doing for her, she give you the same gift. And that's she gives you vagina. So she don't have to spend no money. She ain't got to go out and buy nothing. All she got to do is take your money and go get a negligee and give you the same thing for every feast day and every time it's the same thing. What you want for your birthday? I got me, baby. I got me. What? So what you want for Christmas? What you'll give me for Christmas? I wrap myself up. So what you give me for Easter? I got my, I'm your Easter. Dang. So what I give for Father's Day? I'm with your Father's Day gift. What do I get for 4th of July? I'll be your 4th of July. Like, dang. So you ain't gonna buy me nothing? I gotta go. Well, it's wickedness. I'm trying to tell y'all, it's so high level. It's such a high level of wickedness. These women is in there weeping for Tammuz. Boy, they want money. They want power. They want that feast. They want all of that. Because when you come talking about Torah, they like, no. We left Yah a long time ago. We ain't with Yah no more. We We left Yah because Yah didn't cater to us. Yah don't care nothing about our tears. Yah don't give us what Baal and what Tammuz and Ashtaroth does. Because as Baal and Ashtaroth, as Tammuz and Astarte, our feminine side is worshipped. And therefore we become the queens of heaven. And therefore we become the gods on earth. We don't like Yah because he keep talking about humbling ourselves. We don't want Yah. Yah talking about women gotta obey their husband. Oh hell no. Ashtaroth say that we ain't gotta obey nobody. And I'm gonna tell you something else. We live in a time today to where we so far away from the Bible. It's because you can't. When you worship in Tammuz and you worship in Ashtaroth, then your devotion trumps the Torah. Do you get that part? Ashtaroth, which is Easter, demands worship. So you're going to do Easter Sunday no matter what. And Tammuz is Christmas. So even though Torah told you don't do that, you're going to do it because you follow the stars. That's why you do it. The sun god and the stars and the moon and the planets. All that stuff is connected. And this is what Ezekiel saw. He said, they are totally sold out to the sun worshiping religions and idols of Babylon. Just like today, our people, including our men that are running the so-called church, which I told you was a circus, the deacons, the mother bowl, the women weeping, it's all part of the circus, and it's all part of the dark side of the so-called religion called the church. It's the worship of Ashtaroth and Baal, Ishtar, and Tammuz, watch, and Pink Mary, and Pink Baby Jesus. They just changed the name. That's heavy hitting, ain't it? If you understand that, put an 800,000 in the chat. I said they just changed the name. So when you go behind the scenes and you find out everything is against the Bible. Yes, it is. When you really start studying that Christian church, you're going to see that they do every single thing that they do. It is in perfect line with sun worship and perfect line with idolatry. And everything in that local church is against the Bible. That's what's going to trip you out. I told y'all before, starting with the day of worship, I could just start there. Starting with food, starting with the 10 Commandments. I could go and deal with the day Hamashiach died. They lie about that. I can go on and on. There's so much. Even all the images, I could just, everything about it is a counterfeit. Yes, even the prayers. The Bible says if you pray and you're not keeping Torah, your prayers are an abomination. And he said, I don't care how much you holler, I'm not going to listen. And all that crying you doing, I don't care. The Messiah not moved by emotion like that. You got a TAMMUZ worship mindset. You got an Easter and Astarte worship mindset. Yahuwah says, when it comes to me, I need obedience. I'm gonna cut to the. I'm gonna get to the end. I'm gonna end this. Remember, I told you that the women of the world know them. Most of them know everything about them horoscopes and stuff, and a lot of them know a lot about witchcraft. They live. The women live in our house. They know a lot about witchcraft. More what? They come up out of Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, places like this, right? Where people used to practice voodoo a lot. And these women pass this stuff down to other women. That the brothers, they don't even know about. If you want him to really fall in love, what? Do such and such and such and such and do this. You're like, what? The brother be like, man, they don't be doing that. And women look at the women in the room right now. It's like, Morehyosh not lying a bit. It's always going to be some kind of weird magic potion, weird thing like get a piece of his hair, or make sure you get this, or make sure you put this in it, or make sure you do this. Like all of that. Where did y'all get that from? Satan, witchcraft. Have y'all seen this? Boy, what am I looking at? You know dang well what you're looking at. Order of the Eastern Star. No. Oh, yeah. Here it is. And look at this symbol. It's the pentagram with the nose pointed down, which represent Satan. That's their star. The East. You see it? And here they are, in white, with a few coons sitting amongst them. See it? It's not Torah. It's not Bible. This is not the scriptures. This is a cult, a satanic, sun-worshiping, star-worshiping cult that uses and twists scripture to get people loyal to their cult. Watch. But none of these people keep his commandments. They don't keep the Torah. They don't keep the covenant. They don't tell the people that they're the house of Israel. I'm not going to go through this whole thing. But I'm looking over at my time. I can't believe I've been in here this long. But this wasn't founded by Yah. It was a nigga named Rob Morse came up with this. This is not based on Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. This is not based on Abraham. This is not based upon David or Solomon or no. And do you know, in their five-pointed star, which everybody knows now, is a pentagram, right? Everybody knows that has become the symbol for Satanism. Everybody knows that, and yet they won't change the symbol. They all know it, but they're not going to change. And look, I don't really care because I don't give a damn. I'm just trying to show you who goes to your church. I'm just trying to show you what's happening in the back room. I'm just trying to show you what Ezekiel saw. These people all go to church. They are all a part of a church. This 5-pointed star that they have, they say that each of these points to a biblical character. The very first person, I'm not even going to deal with the rest of them because I could tear them all apart. But the very first one that they said was Ada. You see it? The very first one they say is Ada, which is the blue point of the star. Wait a minute. First of all, the fact that it's a star in the Most High talking about the star there, but wait. The very first person in the Eastern star system is Ada. And the story that they say about Ada is a lie. They say that's Jephthah's daughter. No, it's not. In our scripture, she's not named. But we do have an Ada in the Bible, who from the line of Cain, who was one of 2 wives of a wicked Negro, who literally said that he killed a man because the man hurt him. The very first person that is on that star, the actual name goes to wickedness and murder. But because our people don't read the Bible, let me get that verse. Somebody gonna say, there he go again. Okay, let me just get the verse for you. Here it is. That woman that they say is Jephthah's daughter, which is never mentioned in scripture, nowhere. But she is in here. But look, here it is right here. And Lamech, which was a child of Cain. This is Genesis chapter 4, verse, I'm just going to go to verse 18. No, where I want to go. Verse 19. Genesis 4:19. And Lamech took unto him 2 wives. The name of one was Ada, or Adah. And the name of the other was Zelle. And Adah bore Jabal. He was the father of such that dwell in tents, and such as have cattle. And his brother's name was Jubal, and he was the father of such that handle the harp and the organ. And Zelle, she also bare Tubal Cain, an instructor of every artificer in brass and in iron, and the sister of Tubal, name was Naaman. And Lamech said unto his wives, Ada and Zelle, hear my voice, you wives of Lamech, hearken unto my speech, for I have slain a man to my wounding. Do you see that? Wicked. Somebody just barely wounded him, and instead of him just wounded him back, no, he killed him. He said, I slain a man to my wounding and a young man to my hurt. Did you kill 2 people? Yeah. And if Cain shall be avenged 7-fold, truly Lamech 70 times 7. Wait, what the hell? Wicked. That's wickedness right there. And obviously these women are going along with it. Is the bat that I'm swinging today too heavy for y'all? We got a whole organization that meets in the back rooms of these churches and in the basements and in other places. And I don't even have time. I'm getting out the room. I don't even have time to start talking about sororities. I don't even have time, but I can do it. And I can show you how these Greek fraternities are still whoring. Yes, hoes, making hoes of the daughters of Zion. I could prove it. And these people go to church. As I keep trying to tell y'all, you don't understand what the underbelly is. You don't know about that back room. You don't know about the dark corners until you come with me and Ezekiel as we are being led by Yah to look. He said, now this is what's really happening. This is what's really controlling. You see what the men is doing? Full of wickedness. Yeah, I see it. See what the women doing? Yeah, they wicked too. And then you wonder, they worship Easter, Baal, they got all kind of wickedness going on, and then you wonder why they're in captivity, why they struggle. I'm going to tell you why, because they're my children. Yes, the rest of the world can do that. That's them. But these are my children. I bought them with a price. I gave my life. I shed my blood. These are my children. I made them. They didn't make themselves. I blessed them with my presence. You ask me why? I raised them when no one else wanted them. I saw them. They were cast aside like an unwanted baby. When I found them, they were still lying in their blood. The birth sac and the umbilical cord was still attached, and nobody had ministered to them at all. And I went to them. I rescued them. I married that nation. And I made a promise and went into covenant with them. And I promised them that I'd make them the head and not the tail. That they would be blessed and not cursed. That their enemies would come in one way and I'd make them run out 7 ways. I promised them that they would have, their baskets would be full. Their barns would burst out. And their wine cellars would burst forth with new wine. I promised them I would send the rain twice a year in due season. I promised them that I would rebuke the devourer. I have made a promise to them that I would listen to them when they pray. I'm out. And they turn their back on me to go after the gods of their captors. To follow the heathen. No, So guess what I'm going to do? What is that? I'm going to let them. I'm going to let them see what it's like to follow their captors and their captors' gods 100. I'm going to let them. And now you see why we're in the situation we're on. And this is the reason why I started telling y'all this. When y'all see this, know that it's high-level wickedness in the background of it. Our Elohim sits high and look low. He's not the sun. He's not the stars. He's not the moon. He's not Astaroth. He's not Baal. He's not a European. He's not Pink Jesus. He's not Pink Mary and Joseph. He ain't no Casper the Friendly Ghost. He is not no ecclesiastical clown. He does not operate in a circus, but we are his people, Zion. We are the sheep of his pasture. We are his chosen generation. We're the apple of his eye. We're the bride of Hamashiach. No. We have that which is real. We have him. If you're in the room and you understood that, put a 1 million in the chat, please. Put a 1 million. We gotta go. Yeah, but these women weeping for TAMMUZ, yes, y'all better get out of there. I didn't get to my Revelation verse, but just put it in the chat, administrator, so it'll be in there. Revelation chapter 17 and Revelation chapter 18 shows you the end of this beast. What is that, Moreh? The whore of Revelation is the churches. The idea of her fornication is the mixing with the idol gods. That's what that word really is about. And Babylon, and Mystery Babylon, the harlot, falls. That's Bible. You got to get out before it's everlasting too late. Now, I can't tell you what to do, but I got out. Once he showed it to me, I was like, oh boy, I got to get out of here. Our king is alive. He sit high, but he look low. He know, even though Ezekiel might not have known about that wicked leadership, but Yah been looking at it the whole time. He said, come here, Zeke, let me show you. You see that? And Zeke said, I do see it. He said, now do you understand why they under judgment? He said, yeah. So now I'm asking you all today the same thing. When we read those scriptures, did you see it? And you say, yeah, I saw it. So now you know why our people are in judgment to this very day. You can see it. But is that the end of the story? No. Believe it or not, in the midst of all of that wickedness, believe it or not, it's true. He raises up a remnant at the very end of time, as we know it, that turn back to him and his commandments and his righteousness. And I am and you are a part of that remnant. Look, everybody that's caught up, I'm just going to say like John, come out. Get out of there and turn to your Elohim. I got to go. Remember that the ark is supported through your tithes and offerings. Do it while you're thinking about it. Before you get caught up in the rest of your day, of course, send the tithes and offerings. We appreciate it and pray for us. And we're going to pray for you. Hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Until next time, Zion, keep looking up for our redemption. Draw nigh.